Hello there and welcome, weary traveler. This is Sleepy Wiki, your gentle harbor for drifting minds. Take a soft breath with me now, letting your shoulders drop, your jaw relax, and your own slow rhythm unfold. Tonight we drift softly towards a destination whispered about in ancient tides and shimmering folklore. Imagine, if you will, a body of water, perhaps cradled by coral or embraced by the gentle curve of land, a place of sheltered calm where the sky meets the sea in a quiet, undisturbed mirror. We will gently explore the essence of a lagoon, a sanctuary of still depths holding untold stories in its quiet embrace, exuding profound tranquility. It is a place of gentle transitions, hidden beauty, and a deep historical peace. Allow its calming presence to lull your awareness like a gentle current towards peaceful slumber. And if this quiet journey brings a touch of calm to your evening, a soft tap on the like button or a gentle subscribe would be deeply appreciated, helping more weary minds find their way to our sleepy shore. Now, as your breath deepens and your thoughts begin to gently recede, let us slowly, softly immerse ourselves in the quiet world of the lagoon. Imagine, if you will, the vast, restless ocean, always in motion, yet capable of creating pockets of profound stillness. Tonight, let us drift gently towards those serene sanctuaries where the sea finds a moment of quiet reflection. The lagoons. These shimmering bodies of water, nestled close to the land, hold stories of Earth's slow, magnificent artistry, tales etched in sand and stone over countless millennia, whispered by winds and tides. Now our journey begins along the world's coastlines, where the land and sea engage in an eternal, intricate dance. Here, many lagoons are born from the patient, persistent work of waves and currents, like masterpieces sculpted by the ocean's tireless hands. Picture a long, curving stretch of coastline, perhaps a sandy beach kissed by gentle breakers. The waves, tireless travelers from distant storms and endless horizons, carry with them tiny grains of sand, fragments of ancient shells, and whispers of eroded rock, the very building blocks of the shore. As these waves arrive at an angle to the shore, they don't just push the sediment directly onto the beach. They also create a subtle side-to-side motion, a continuous slow shuffle of material along the coastline. This steady, rhythmic movement is what geologists call longshore drift, a kind of geological conveyor belt powered by the rhythmic pulse of the sea, patiently moving countless grains of sand down the coast, day after day, year after year, century after century. Now, imagine this ribbon of sand, nudged by the relentless longshore drift, reaching an indentation in the coastline, or perhaps a slight curve where the coastal currents slow their pace. Here, as the water loses a little of its energetic momentum, it gently drops its precious cargo. Layer upon layer, grain upon grain, the sand begins to accumulate, building outwards into the open water. This burgeoning finger of sand, stretching like a sleepy arm into the sea, is often called a sand spit. Over vast stretches of time, as the sediment continues to accumulate and the sea level perhaps experiences minor fluctuations, this sand spit can grow longer and wider. Sometimes it might even curve gracefully back towards the mainland, almost embracing a portion of the open water, drawing a gentle crescent around it. If this sandy barrier grows substantial enough, if it fully or almost fully separates a shallow bay or a river's estuary from the deeper, more turbulent ocean, then a tall coastal lagoon is born. The former bay, now sheltered by its sandy guardian, transforms into a tranquil haven. The connection to the open sea might be a narrow, sometimes winding inlet, a gentle mouth through which the tides gently ebb and flow, constantly refreshing the lagoon's waters, yet keeping its inner sanctum calm, protected from the ocean's full force. Think of it as a natural moat, a serene sanctuary guarded by a sandy rampart, protecting a castle of quietude from the boisterous waves of the open sea. These sandy sentinels, whether they are ephemeral sandspits or more robust barrier islands, those elongated islands running parallel to the mainland coast, often a few miles offshore, are truly dynamic creations. They are not static structures, but living, breathing geological features, forever being shaped by the very forces that created them. Storms can breach them with dramatic fury, carving new inlets, or, conversely, closing old ones with fresh depositions of sand. Shifting currents can subtly move their sands, causing them to migrate slowly over decades or centuries, like grand desert dunes moved by an invisible hand. And beneath it all, the Earth's very crust might be slowly sinking, a process known as subsidence, which can influence how much space the lagoon has, how deep it becomes, and how intimately it interacts with the constantly changing rhythm of the tides. Even the global dance of sea levels, driven by the expansion and contraction of polar ice caps over hundreds of thousands of years, vast glacial cycles of advancing and retreating ice, plays a crucial long-term role. When sea levels rise, existing low-lying areas might be gently flooded, forming new lagoons behind pre-existing coastal ridges or bars. Conversely, falling sea levels can expose new land, altering or even eliminating these delicate ecosystems. It is a ceaseless ballet between land, water, and time. So, in the captivating world of coastal lagoons, we see the ocean as an artist, perpetually reshaping its canvases of sand and shore, leaving behind these serene, often shallow bodies of water, cradled by ever-shifting landforms, each a unique testament to the power of natural erosion and deposition. But the Earth, in its boundless creativity, has another magnificent story of lagoon formation to tell, one that takes us far from sandy shores into the vast azure expanse of the tropical oceans. Here, in sun-drenched waters, another kind of lagoon emerges, born not from shifting sands, but from the incredible partnership between ancient volcanoes and tiny, tireless organisms, the magnificent coral atolls. Imagine, beneath the warm, clear waters of the tropics, a majestic, volcanic island, erupting from the seafloor. For eons it rose from the abyssal depths, a fiery, molten peak slowly hardening into rock, finally reaching towards the sun. As it broke the surface, its slopes, now cooled by the ocean's embrace, became an ideal foundation for life. And here, in the shallow, sunlit waters around its perimeter, something truly magical began to happen. Tiny marine animals, called coral polyps, began to settle. These remarkable creatures, no bigger than a grain of rice, with their soft, delicate bodies, extract calcium carbonate from the seawater, using it to build intricate stony skeletons. Generation after generation, these polyps grow upon the skeletons of their ancestors, slowly, painstakingly, creating vast underwater cities of stone. The vibrant, living coral reefs. Initially, this reef clings closely to the island's shores, a protective ring of living stone, a fringing reef, like a biological necklace adorning the volcanic landmass. The island stands proud, adorned by its growing garland. But then, the next truly colossal chapter of this geological ballet unfolds. The island begins its slow, stately descent. Not violently, not suddenly, but with the stately grace of geological time, perhaps only a few millimeters each year. Perhaps the underlying tectonic plate is slowly sinking, or the sheer immense weight of the volcano itself is causing the oceanic crust to gently depress. This subsidence, this imperceptibly slow sinking, is the silent, colossal engine driving the transformation, a geological force that unfolds over millions of years. As the volcanic island slowly sinks, the coral polyps, ever reaching for the precious sunlight they need to thrive, for they host tiny algae within their tissues, continue to grow upwards. They build furiously, striving to keep pace with the descending landmass, locked in a timeless race against the ocean floor. If the coral growth keeps pace with the island's sinking, the fringing reef gradually transforms. A channel of water begins to open between the reef and the now shrinking island, deepening and widening. The reef becomes separated from the shore by a stretch of open water, an independent ring around the subsiding landmass. It has evolved into a magnificent barrier reef, a grand circular wall protecting a lagoon within. The story doesn't end there. The geological clock continues to tick, and the island continues its slow, majestic descent into the ocean's embrace. Eventually, after perhaps countless millions of years, the once proud volcanic peak disappears entirely beneath the waves, swallowed by the deep. But its legacy remains, upheld by the tireless work of the coral. The barrier reef, growing ever upwards, now forms a complete, or nearly complete, ring of coral, enclosing a central body of water. This is the magnificent Atoll Lagoon, a circular jewel in the ocean, a monument to deep time. The lagoon within an atoll is the spectral memory of the former island, a tranquil, often deep basin marking precisely where the volcano once stood. Its waters, fed by the ocean through narrow channels and sometimes gently over the reef itself, are typically crystal clear and warm, home to an astonishing array of marine life. It is a profound testament to the incredible synergy between the Earth's colossal geological forces, volcanism, plate tectonics, subsidence, and the delicate yet persistent life force of microscopic marine creatures working together over vast geological timescales. So, from the humble shifting sands along a busy coast, sculpted by currents and sea level changes, to the ancient submerged volcanoes of the deep ocean, brought to life by the tireless builders of coral, lagoons offer us a window into Earth's patient, profound artistry. They are not merely bodies of water, but living narratives of geological time, carved by forces both grand and microscopic, each a unique chapter in our planet's ongoing story. A gentle breath in the Earth's long exhalation. As we reflect on these incredible origins, from the whispers of longshore drift to the silent, millenary descent of volcanic giants, we begin to appreciate the immense tapestry of processes that continuously shape our world. And with this newfound understanding of how these tranquil havens come to be, perhaps we can next turn our thoughts to the vibrant secret worlds that call these serene waters home, to the astonishing array of life that flourishes within their sheltered embrace. Just like the myriad expressions of a peaceful dream, not all lagoons are born the same, nor do they hold the same secrets within their gentle waters. They are, in fact, a wonderfully diverse family, each member sculpted by different forces, bearing unique structural characteristics that define their very essence and the life they cradle. Imagine first, if you will, the serene embrace of a barrier lagoon. These are perhaps the most commonly envisioned, like a long, slender arm of water reaching out parallel to the coastline. They are born from the patient dance of ocean waves and currents, which tirelessly gather and deposit sand, gradually building protective features such as sand spits, long barrier islands, or even the sprawling ramparts of coral reefs. These natural bulwarks stand as gentle guardians, forming a semi-enclosed basin between themselves and the mainland shore. Their structural characteristic is often one of elegant linearity, elongated and relatively shallow, creating a sheltered corridor that can stretch for many miles along a coast. The connection to the vast open ocean is typically restricted, often through narrow, shifting inlets or channels. These are like secret doorways, allowing a controlled exchange of water. Think of them as the slow, rhythmic breathing of the lagoon, influencing its salinity, which often becomes a mix of fresh river water and salty ocean water, creating what we call brackish conditions. The constant yet gentle wave action on the barrier itself and the quiet flow of currents within the lagoon also play a crucial role in shaping its sandy or muddy bottom, a soft bed for countless small creatures. Now, let your mind wander to the heart of the vast, warm oceans, where a truly magical structure takes shape, the atoll lagoon. These are like precious, sunken jewels, typically found in tropical waters, formed by the slow subsidence of ancient volcanic islands. Picture a ring-shaped coral reef, a magnificent circle of life enclosing a central body of water. The reef itself is a testament to the patient work of billions of tiny coral polyps, secreting calcium carbonate over countless millennia, building upwards as the volcanic island beneath them slowly sinks. The structural hallmark of an atoll lagoon is this distinctive circular or elliptical reef rim, often punctuated by a few deeper passages or booms that allow ocean water to flow in and out, like gentle breaths through a magnificent crown. The lagoon within this coral embrace tends to be deeper than its coastal cousins, sometimes plunging to depths of 30 to 90 meters, especially towards its center, where the original volcanic peak once stood. The floor can be a mix of coral rubble and fine calcareous sand, remnants of the living reef. The water within an atoll lagoon is often exceptionally clear and warm, owing to its direct oceanic connection and the filtering action of the surrounding reef, creating a vibrant underwater world distinct from the deep blue sea just beyond the reef's edge. This delicate balance of structure and water exchange creates unique habitats, with the deepest parts remaining relatively calm while the shallow fringes teem with life. Next, let's turn our attention to the more robust and often nutrient-rich character of estuarine lagoons. While they share some similarities with coastal lagoons, their defining structural feature is a much stronger and more direct influence from freshwater rivers. Imagine a place where a mighty river, after its long journey, finally meets the sea. But instead of a wide open mouth, it finds itself gently cradled within a semi-enclosed basin. These lagoons are often wider and more irregular in shape than their barrier island counterparts, reflecting the varied geology of the land and the path of the river. Their structural dynamic is a constant interplay of fresh water pushing out and salt water gently surging in with the tides. This creates a pronounced salinity gradient, a spectrum of saltiness, ranging from nearly fresh near the river's entry to almost fully marine near the sea connection. The river carries a rich cargo of sediments and nutrients, leading to a typically muddier bottom and incredibly productive waters, often acting as vital nurseries for marine life. The structural characteristics here are less about a single protective barrier and more about the delicate balance of inflow and outflow, where the shape of the land and the depth of the basin dictate the mixing of these two distinct water bodies. The constant deposition of fine sediments, sometimes aided by the flocculation process, where tiny clay particles clump together in the presence of salt, builds up soft, nutrient-rich beds. Then, we encounter a rarer, more secluded form, the perched lagoon. These are the quiet recluses of the lagoon family, often found in unexpected places, elevated above sea level. Imagine a tranquil pool nestled high within a volcanic caldera, or perhaps a hidden basin sculpted into ancient uplifted terrain. Their structural characteristic is their geological isolation and elevated position. Unlike most lagoons that are intimately connected to the sea, perched lagoons may have very limited or no direct surface connection to the ocean. Their water source often comes from rainfall, snowmelt, or groundwater seepage, creating a unique hydrological system. The surrounding geological structures, the rim of a crater, the walls of a mountain basin, define their boundaries and protect them from direct oceanic influence. This isolation can lead to very distinct water chemistry, often making them freshwater or very low salinity, creating unique ecosystems that have evolved in their secluded environments. The depth and shape are dictated by the underlying geology, whether it's the steep sides of a volcanic cone or the gentler slopes of an ancient depression. Finally, let's gently sail towards the often deeper and more intricate fjord lagoons. These are distant cousins of the more famous fjords, found in regions shaped by the immense power of glaciers. Imagine a glacially carved valley, often long and narrow with steep, rocky sides where the sea has gently encroached. The defining structural characteristic of a fjord lagoon is the presence of a sill, an underwater ridge of bedrock or glacial till, typically at its entrance, acting like a subtle submerged barrier. This sill restricts the exchange of deeper water with the open sea, even if surface waters flow more freely. The result is often a lagoon that is much deeper than typical coastal lagoons, sometimes mirroring the great depths of the fjords themselves, but with a more enclosed and often complex dendritic shoreline. The bottom is typically rocky or covered in glacial sediments, reflecting its powerful geological past. This restricted deep water exchange can lead to unique conditions, sometimes with stratification, where layers of water with different densities and temperatures remain distinct, influencing the distribution of oxygen and nutrients. Each type, from the sandy embrace of the barrier lagoon to the deep, silent pools of the fjord, tells a different story of the Earth's patient forces and the countless ways water finds its home. And as we consider these diverse structures, we begin to understand how their very architecture dictates the rhythm of life within them. A rhythm we shall explore as we gently turn our attention to the ebb and flow of their unique water dynamics. Beneath the tranquil surface lies a world of constant, gentle motion, a silent, intricate dance that breathes life into every ripple and every grain of sand. This dance, this invisible ballet, is what scientists call hydrological dynamics, and it's the very pulse of the lagoon. Think of the lagoon not just as a pool, but as a living entity with its own circulatory system. Just like our own bodies rely on the steady rhythm of a beating heart to circulate life-giving blood, the lagoon depends on the ebb and flow of water to sustain its unique ecosystem. This intricate ballet of water is a symphony of forces, each playing its part in maintaining the delicate balance of this precious environment. At the heart of this circulation is the ocean itself, a colossal parent gently nudging its child. Twice a day, with the faithful rhythm of the tides, the ocean exhales, sending a great sigh of water through narrow gateways or inlets into the lagoon. This is the flood tide, a slow, deliberate inflow that replenishes the lagoon with cool, salty ocean water. It's like a vast, invisible hand slowly filling a bowl, patiently nurturing what lies within. Then, as the tide recedes, the ocean inhales, drawing that water back out again. This is the ebb tide, a gentle outward pull, as if the lagoon is sighing contentedly, letting go of what it no longer needs. This continuous push and pull, the rhythmic exchange through these inlets, is not just a simple back and forth. It's a powerful, purifying force. The amount of water that moves in and out with each tidal cycle is immense, a volume scientists refer to as the tidal prism. It's like the lagoon's lungs, expanding and contracting, constantly refreshing its internal environment. Without this constant dialogue with the ocean, a lagoon would become stagnant, a still pool unable to support the vibrant life it cradles. These tidal currents, though often subtle to our eyes, are mighty sculptors, carving channels, moving sediments, and orchestrating the very flow of nutrients and organisms within the lagoon, ensuring a vital connection to the wider marine world. But the ocean isn't the only partner in this dance. From the land, fresh waters arrive, often in the form of gentle rivers, winding streams, or even underground springs, seeping invisibly into the lagoon's embrace. Imagine these freshwater sources as delicate arteries, bringing a different kind of lifeblood, a sweeter, softer essence into the lagoon's salty core. These freshwater inflows carry with them nutrients from the land, essential building blocks for microscopic life, much like gentle messengers delivering sustenance. But they also dilute the saltiness, creating what we call brackish conditions, a unique blend, neither fully fresh nor fully salty. This blending creates distinct zones within the lagoon, where different communities of plants and animals thrive, each adapted to its preferred level of saltiness. Sometimes, especially after a gentle rain, you can almost taste the subtle shift in the lagoon's character. In some lagoons, especially those in more arid regions, freshwater input might be minimal, or evaporation rates so high that the lagoon becomes even saltier than the ocean, a phenomenon known as hypersalinity. It's a testament to the diverse personalities lagoons can possess, each shaped by its unique balance of oceanic and terrestrial influences. This delicate dance of salinity and fresh water creates a mosaic of habitats, each with its own rhythm and residence. So, we have the ocean's tides, a powerful rhythmic beat, and the land's fresh water, a softer, continuous melody. But there's another conductor in this grand orchestra, the wind. Even a gentle breeze stroking the surface of the water can create subtle currents, pushing and mixing the water within the lagoon's confines. On larger, shallower lagoons, persistent winds can even create significant internal circulation patterns, stirring the waters like a giant spoon, ensuring that nutrients are distributed and oxygen is well mixed throughout. The sun, too, plays its part, warming the shallow waters and influencing density differences that subtly guide water movement. 1. The interplay of these forces, tides, freshwater inflow, and wind, creates incredibly complex and beautiful water circulation patterns. These intricate movements aren't always a simple straight line. Imagine an ongoing, subtle ballet beneath the waves. Scientists often talk about residual currents. These are the net movements of water after accounting for all the ebb and flow of the tides. They are like the underlying persistent drift, the subtle, continuous journey that helps move sediments, tiny larvae of marine creatures, and even nutrients or pollutants slowly through and out of the lagoon. These residual currents are crucial, acting as invisible conveyors, influencing where everything settles, where new life might establish, or where substances ultimately find their way out to the open ocean. The unique bathtub contour of each lagoon, its specific shape, depth, and the configuration of its inlets acts like an underwater landscape, guiding these currents, creating fascinating eddies, and shaping the precise pathways water takes. A narrow, deep inlet might funnel water quickly, while a broad, shallow expanse allows for more gentle, diffused movement. Each lagoon's hydrology is as unique as a fingerprint, a testament to the dynamic interaction between water and land. This brings us to a crucial concept: water residence time. It's essentially how long a parcel of water, a single drop or a whole volume, remains within the lagoon before being exchanged with the ocean or flowing out to sea. Think of it like a guest staying in a lovely home. Some guests, carried by strong tidal currents, might only stay a few hours or a day, quickly moving on, ensuring rapid renewal. Others, in more sheltered corners or in lagoons with very restricted inlets, might linger for weeks, months, or even longer. This residence time is a critical indicator of the lagoon's health. A shorter residence time means the water is refreshed more frequently, bringing in new oxygen and flushing out accumulated nutrients or any potential pollutants. It's like a constant cleansing, ensuring the lagoon stays vibrant and clean. Conversely, a very long residence time can mean that substances, whether natural or man-made, can accumulate. Imagine a room where the air isn't often refreshed. It can become stuffy. Similarly, in a lagoon with poor flushing, nutrients from land runoff might build up, potentially leading to excessive algal growth, which then consumes oxygen when it decays, stressing other marine life. It's the lagoon's way of remembering, of holding on to its history, for better or for worse, making a balanced residence time a key to its enduring vitality. Because lagoons are often shallow, their water temperature can fluctuate more dramatically than the vast, deep ocean. On a warm, sunny day, the surface waters can heat up quickly, while deeper layers might remain cooler. This difference in temperature, combined with varying salinity levels, can sometimes lead to what's called stratification. Imagine layers of water, like delicate blankets, sitting one on top of the other, each with a slightly different density. Denser, saltier, or cooler water might settle at the bottom, while lighter, warmer, or fresher water floats above. This layering can affect the mixing of oxygen and nutrients, creating distinct environments within the lagoon's vertical profile. However, in many lagoons, especially those with strong tidal mixing or wind action, these layers are constantly stirred and blended, creating a well-mixed, homogeneous embrace, a comfortingly consistent environment for its inhabitants. So, the lagoon is not a static pool, but a dynamic, ever-changing world of water in motion. It breathes with the tides, drinks from the land, and is stirred by the wind. These invisible forces shape its character, define its boundaries, and sustain the incredible diversity of life that calls it home. From the smallest plankton to the largest fish, every inhabitant of the lagoon is intimately connected to these water circulation patterns, these gentle currents that dictate their world. And as the waters flow and swirl, they carry with them more than just nutrients and sediments. They carry the very essence of the lagoon story, a story that continues to unfold with every tide. We've explored the fascinating ballet of water's movement, but what about the hidden treasures it gently carries? What wonders lie settled upon the lagoon's soft, sandy bed, shaped by these very currents? Let's now gently drift deeper into the mysterious world beneath the surface and uncover the secrets of the lagoon's sediments. Within this constant circulation, where the ocean's briny kiss meets the gentle freshwater flow from the land, a truly magical blend emerges. This is the realm of brackish water, a captivating elixir that is neither fully salt nor fully fresh, but a constant, shimmering spectrum in between. In this liquid tapestry, the very fabric of life has had to learn a special kind of resilience. Creatures here aren't just surviving, they are thriving through ingenious adaptations. Think of it as nature's own grand experiment, where evolution has crafted specialized solutions for this ever-shifting environment. The key to life in a lagoon often lies in a remarkable biological trick called osmoregulation. Much like a master alchemist, each cell and organism must meticulously control its internal salt and water balance, constantly adjusting to the ebb and flow of salinity that changes with the tides, rainfall, and freshwater input. Some fish, for instance, have evolved specialized kidneys that can either retain salts when the water becomes too fresh or excrete excess salts when it turns more saline. It's a delicate, tireless dance, an internal symphony of adjustment that allows them to call this challenging environment home. And what a home it is! Lagoons are often veritable powerhouses of life, brimming with an astonishing vibrancy. They act as nature's slow cookers, trapping nutrients that wash in from both the land and the sea. Rivers carry fertile sediments and organic matter, while the ocean contributes its own rich tapestry of microscopic life and dissolved minerals. This constant influx of nourishment, combined with shallow, sun-drenched waters, fuels an incredible primary productivity. Tiny phytoplankton, unseen by our sleepy eyes, bloom in abundance, alongside vast underwater meadows of sea grasses and tangled forests of mangroves that line the shores of many tropical and subtropical lagoons. These green architects form the very foundation of the ecosystem, transforming sunlight into energy, providing food, and creating intricate shelter for countless creatures. It is this unique blend of shelter and sustenance that transforms many lagoons into vital nurseries of the sea. Imagine a bustling, protected daycare for the ocean's young. Here, juvenile fish, crabs and shrimp, no bigger than your thumbnail, find refuge from the open ocean's strong currents and hungry predators. The murky, shallow waters, dense with seagrass blades or mangrove roots, offer perfect hiding spots. With abundant food supplies and fewer dangers, these younglings can grow strong and robust before venturing out into the vast, open ocean. A tiny snapper, barely visible among the blades of turtle grass, might spend its formative months here, learning the rhythms of the tide, before it's ready to join the larger schools beyond the reef. The health of these lagoon nurseries is therefore inextricably linked to the health of the entire marine ecosystem, far beyond their quiet boundaries. This specialized environment also fosters a magnificent array of unique biodiversity. Let's peek at some of the fascinating characters who call these lagoons home. Consider the fiddler crabs, those little maestros of the mudflats, with the males waving one dramatically oversized claw, not for fighting, but to attract a mate. They scuttle across the exposed sediment at low tide, diligently sifting organic matter, their lives perfectly tuned to the lagoon's rhythm. Then there are the incredible mud skippers, found in mangrove-fringed lagoons. These amphibious fish are truly extraordinary. With their modified pectoral fins, they can walk on land, climb mangrove roots, and even breathe through their skin and mouth lining, perfectly adapted to a life both in and out of the water. They are a whimsical reminder of life's boundless capacity for adaptation. Underwater, among the swaying seagrasses, you might discover the shy beauty of seahorses and pipefish. Masters of camouflage. They blend seamlessly with their surroundings, their delicate forms swaying like forgotten leaves. They are patient hunters, siphoning tiny crustaceans from the water with their elongated snouts. These peaceful, ethereal creatures rely entirely on the healthy, sheltered habitats that lagoons provide. And let us not forget the skies above. Many lagoons are vital stopovers for migratory birds, offering rich feeding grounds for countless species of waders, ducks, and sometimes even magnificent flamingos, painting the shallow waters with vibrant hues. They come from distant lands, drawn by the abundant food, the crabs, the small fish, the insects that thrive in this fertile landscape. It's clear, then, that lagoons are far more than just quiet inlets. They are vibrant, pulsating biodiversity hotspots, often hosting unique assemblages of species that have adapted to their distinct conditions. The intermingling of freshwater and saltwater, the sheltered nature, and the high productivity create an ecological niche unlike any other on Earth. They are natural laboratories, constantly demonstrating how life finds a way, even in the most challenging and variable of circumstances, pushing the boundaries of what is possible. As we gently drift deeper into understanding the intricate beauty of these veiled oases, we begin to appreciate not just their uniqueness, but their profound importance to the greater web of life. It makes us wonder, doesn't it, about the delicate threads that connect such precious places to the wider world, and how we might continue to cherish the vibrant, unique life that calls them home. Beyond the visible life thrives an even more intricate ballet, an unseen chemistry that sustains every organism. This is the realm where the very elements of existence perform an endless dance, a silent symphony orchestrated by what scientists gently call biogeochemical cycles, and the nuanced water chemistry that defines our lagoon's unique character. Imagine the lagoon's water not just as a clear, shimmering blanket, but as a vast, living potion, constantly being mixed and stirred. Its very essence is a delicate balance, beginning with its salinity. Here, where the river's sweet whisper meets the ocean's briny song, the water's saltiness becomes a dynamic character. It's a gradient, often changing not just with the tides, but with the season's rainfall and the sun's thirsty evaporation. Sometimes, near the river's mouth, the water might be almost fresh, while closer to the ocean's embrace, it mirrors the sea's ancient saltiness. This shifting salinity is a fundamental orchestrator, dictating which plants and animals can call this fascinating blend home. But salinity is just the opening note. The lagoon's water also holds within it a precious breath, dissolved oxygen. Just like us, the creatures of the lagoon need oxygen to live, to fuel their tiny metabolisms. This oxygen is a gift from two sources: the atmosphere, gently dissolving into the water's surface, and the bustling factories of photosynthesis. Microscopic algae, known as phytoplankton, and the graceful sea grasses, unfurling their green ribbons beneath the surface, are the lagoon's tireless lungs, exhaling oxygen as they capture sunlight. During the day, their activity can flood the water with oxygen, making it a vibrant, life-sustaining environment. But as twilight descends, and these plant factories switch from production to respiration, and as other organisms consume oxygen, levels can dip. In the lagoon's deeper, often muddy sediments, where light cannot reach and oxygen struggles to penetrate, the conditions can become quite anoxic, completely devoid of oxygen. Here, a different kind of chemistry takes over, shaping the very mud beneath our feet. So, hand in hand with oxygen, we find the water's pH, a measure of its acidity or alkalinity. Picture it as the water's mood ring. A healthy lagoon typically hovers in a slightly alkaline state, a gentle neutrality that suits most life. But the daily rhythm of photosynthesis, which absorbs carbon dioxide, can subtly raise the pH, making the water a little more alkaline. Conversely, respiration, which releases carbon dioxide, can lower the pH, making it slightly more acidic. Runoff from land, carrying dissolved minerals or pollutants, can also nudge this delicate balance, reminding us of the interconnectedness of land and water. Tla. Now let us delve into the grand cycles, the unseen currents that ferry the very building blocks of life. These are the biogeochemical cycles, where elements like carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur embark on journeys through living organisms, through water, through the atmosphere, and into the earth itself. Consider the carbon cycle, perhaps the most famous of these grand dances. Carbon is the backbone of all life, and the lagoon is a vibrant hub for its transformations. As the sunbeams pierce the water, they awaken the primary producers, the phytoplankton and the seagrasses. They are the lagoon's alchemists, drawing dissolved carbon dioxide from the water, much like we draw breath, and transforming it through photosynthesis into sugars, into the very fabric of their bodies. This is carbon fixation, and it's the foundation of the lagoon's food web. When these plants and the animals that graze upon them respire, they release carbon dioxide back into the water. When they die, their remains drift to the lagoon floor, where tiny decomposers, bacteria and fungi, break them down, returning more carbon dioxide to the water or burying some of it within the accumulating sediments. Over millennia, some of this buried carbon can form vast reservoirs. The lagoon also interacts with the atmosphere, exchanging carbon dioxide across its surface like a gentle, breathing membrane. And importantly, many creatures within the lagoon, from shellfish to tiny plankton, extract dissolved calcium and carbonate ions from the water to build their exquisite shells and skeletons. These biomineralizations store carbon in the form of calcium carbonate, and when these creatures die, their shells contribute to the lagoon's sandy or muddy bottom, a silent archive of carbon's journey. Then there is the nitrogen cycle, an equally vital yet often more complex ballet. Nitrogen is a crucial nutrient, a key component of proteins and DNA essential for growth. But atmospheric nitrogen, though abundant, is largely unusable by most organisms in its gaseous form. It needs a special touch. Here, certain extraordinary bacteria, often found in sediments or associated with specific plants, perform nitrogen fixation, converting atmospheric nitrogen into forms like ammonia that can be absorbed by plants. This is like unlocking a secret treasure chest of nutrients. Once fixed, nitrogen embarks on a fascinating journey. Plants absorb it, animals eat plants, and then, through decomposition, nitrogen is returned to the water and sediments in various forms. Other bacteria step in, performing nitrification, converting ammonia into nitrites and then nitrates, forms easily absorbed by most plants. But the story doesn't end there. In those oxygen-poor sediments we spoke of earlier, another group of bacteria performs denitrification, converting nitrates back into gaseous nitrogen, which then bubbles up and returns to the atmosphere, completing the cycle. This cycle is a tightly woven loop, but it's also vulnerable. Excess nitrogen from land runoff, often from agricultural fertilizers or wastewater, can overwhelm the lagoon's natural processing capacity, leading to nutrient pollution and algal blooms, a phenomenon known as eutrophication, where life becomes too abundant for the lagoon to gracefully sustain. Our lagoon also dances with phosphorus. Another fundamental nutrient, the energy currency of cells. Unlike nitrogen, phosphorus doesn't have a significant atmospheric gaseous phase. Its journey is primarily through rocks, soil, water, and living organisms. It washes into the lagoon from weathered rocks and soils on land, carried by rivers and streams. Plants absorb it, animals consume it, and upon death, decomposers release it back into the water or sediments. Phosphorus can also bind strongly to sediment particles, becoming trapped there, only to be slowly released over time, especially under anoxic conditions. It's a slower, earthier cycle, deeply connected to the land. And let's not forget the silent architects of the silica cycle. Silica, an abundant mineral, is vital for the sturdy glass-like shells of diatoms, a type of phytoplankton, and for the skeletons of some sponges. Like phosphorus, it enters the lagoon primarily from land runoff, is taken up by these organisms, and eventually sinks to the bottom, forming vast deposits over geological time. Each tiny diatom shell, a microscopic work of art, holds a piece of this cycle's story. All these cycles, intertwined and interdependent, weave the very fabric of the lagoon's chemical environment. The lagoon, with its shallow depths, its restricted exchange with the open ocean, and its intimate connection to the land, often acts as an amplifier for these processes. Evaporation can concentrate salts and nutrients. River inputs can bring fresh supplies of dissolved elements, and the constant churning of sediments can release buried chemicals back into the water column. It is a dynamic, living laboratory where the invisible forces of chemistry shape every visible aspect of life. As we quietly observe this ceaseless chemical ballet, we begin to understand that the lagoon is not merely a body of water, but a breathing, reacting entity, a testament to the intricate balance that sustains all life. And it is within this ever-changing chemical tapestry that we find the perfect stage for the myriad creatures who call this gentle, watery world their home. Yet the lagoon's story is not complete without acknowledging the gentle imprints of human hands, and sometimes their more profound touch. From the dawn of time, humans have been drawn to these cradles of water, these sheltered havens where land and sea embrace. Imagine ancient mariners, after long, arduous voyages across the open ocean, spotting the narrow opening to a lagoon. It was a promise of safety, a natural harbor where their vessels could rest, protected from the relentless fury of the waves. These calm, sheltered waters weren't just for refuge. They became the birthplaces of many coastal communities, offering an abundance of life. Indeed, the very etymology of lagoon often speaks to this sense of a lake or pond, a contained, nurturing space. Fishermen, guided by generations of inherited wisdom, would cast their nets into these fertile waters, understanding that lagoons serve as vital nursery grounds. They are the bustling daycare centers of the ocean, where juvenile fish, crabs, and shrimp find shelter from larger predators, feeding on the rich tapestry of microorganisms and seagrasses. Many commercial fish species, crucial to global food security, spend their vulnerable early lives within these protected confines before venturing out to sea. Think of the delicate white shrimp, the plump oysters, or the shimmering schools of mullet. All find sustenance and sanctuary in the lagoon's embrace, eventually nourishing human communities that have thrived around them for millennia. Beyond mere sustenance, lagoons have offered a stage for life's simpler pleasures. Children splashing in the shallows, families picnicking on sandy shores, kayakers gliding silently over glass-like surfaces, watching egrets wade with elegant precision. These tranquil spaces invite us to slow down, to breathe, and to reconnect with the natural world, fostering a deep cultural and recreational bond. But with this intimacy, with this reliance, comes a profound responsibility. Our presence, though often born of appreciation, can cast long shadows. The very qualities that make lagoons so attractive, their shallow depths, their slow flushing rates, their proximity to land, also make them incredibly vulnerable. Imagine the lagoon as a delicate, intricate weaving. Each thread represents a species, a current, a chemical balance. When we introduce pollutants, it's like spilling paint onto this tapestry, dulling its vibrant colors, even dissolving some of its threads. One of the most insidious threats is what scientists call eutrophication. It's a grand word for a simple yet devastating process. Too much of a good thing. Fertilizers from agricultural fields, detergents from our homes, and untreated sewage often find their way into the runoff that drains into lagoons. These substances are rich in nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, the very same nutrients that help our garden plants grow. In moderation, these feed the lagoon's ecosystem, but in excess, they become a feast that turns sour. Algae, those microscopic green plants, seize upon this sudden abundance, multiplying explosively to form dense, suffocating algal blooms. These blooms create a thick, often unsightly blanket on the water's surface, blocking sunlight from reaching the precious seagrass beds below, which are crucial habitats and oxygen producers. When these massive algal populations eventually die, their decomposition by bacteria consumes vast amounts of dissolved oxygen in the water. This leads to hypoxia, or even anoxia, areas with dangerously low or no oxygen, turning vast stretches of the lagoon into lifeless zones, silent graveyards for fish and other marine life that cannot escape. This oxygen depletion can lead to massive fish kills, disrupting the entire food web and decimating biodiversity. Beyond nutrients, our modern lives introduce a cocktail of other unwelcome guests. Pesticides sprayed on crops, heavy metals from industrial processes, and an ever-increasing deluge of plastics, from discarded bottles to microscopic beads, all find their way into these coastal catchments. These pollutants don't just disappear, they accumulate in the sediments, they are absorbed by marine organisms, and they travel up the food chain through a process called bioaccumulation, potentially impacting human health as well as wildlife. Imagine a tiny clam filtering water, unknowingly collecting minute plastic particles or heavy metals, only to be eaten by a fish, which is then eaten by a bird or even a human. Each step concentrates the toxins, weaving them further into the fabric of life. Now, our desire to build and develop near these beautiful waters also leaves its mark. Dredging, the removal of sediment from the bottom of the lagoon to create deeper channels for boats or to extract sand for construction, can physically destroy delicate habitats like seagrass meadows and oyster reefs. It stirs up centuries of accumulated sediments, releasing trapped pollutants and clouding the water, further stressing the remaining life. And when we fill in wetlands or replace natural shorelines with concrete seawalls, we strip the lagoon of its natural buffers. Mangrove forests and salt marshes, vital components of many lagoon ecosystems, act as natural kidneys, filtering pollutants, and as robust sea defenses, absorbing the energy of storms and preventing erosion. Their removal for shrimp farms or coastal resorts leaves the lagoon bare and exposed, accelerating its degradation. Then there's the broader, more pervasive challenge of climate change. Lagoons, by their very nature as low-lying coastal features, are frontline witnesses to its effects. Rising sea levels threaten to inundate these shallow basins, altering their salinity regimes and shifting their delicate ecosystems inland, often into developed areas with no room to migrate. Increased storm intensity, another facet of a changing climate, brings more powerful waves and surges that can breach barriers, reshape shorelines, and inflict physical damage on habitats. Even the subtle changes in ocean chemistry, a process known as ocean acidification, where the oceans absorb excess carbon dioxide, can make it harder for shell-forming organisms like oysters and clams to build and maintain their protective shells, impacting crucial components of the lagoon's food web. Yet, the human story is not solely one of impact. It is also a narrative of reflection, of adaptation, and of profound care. Across the globe, communities are recognizing the intricate dance between human well-being and lagoon health. Scientists collaborate with local residents to monitor water quality and restore damaged habitats. Indigenous communities, with their deep ancestral knowledge, guide efforts to protect and sustainably manage these precious resources, reminding us of a holistic way of interacting with the natural world. Governments and conservation organizations establish marine protected areas, MPAs, within lagoons, setting aside sections where ecosystems can recover and thrive, offering sanctuary from fishing and development pressures. Engineers work with ecologists to design living shorelines using oysters, mangroves, and native vegetation instead of concrete, helping the lagoon breathe and protect itself naturally. We are learning, sometimes slowly, sometimes through hard-won lessons, that the health of the lagoon is inextricably linked to our own. Our societal interactions are shifting from mere exploitation to a more nuanced understanding of stewardship, seeking a delicate balance where human needs can be met without unraveling the beautiful, complex tapestry of the lagoon itself. The future of these serene waters and the myriad lives they support rests in our collective hands. And as the moon rises higher, casting a silver path across the imaginary waters, we will next journey deeper into the specific wonders of these restoration efforts, exploring how the threads of hope are being rewoven into the lagoon's vibrant fabric. These serene coastal waters, often appearing as glistening mirrors cradled between land and sea, are far more than just beautiful landscapes. They are vibrant centers of life, bustling with economic activity and steeped in cultural heritage, serving as the very lifeblood for countless communities across our planet. Imagine, for a moment, a vast natural larder brimming with sustenance. This is perhaps one of the most immediate and profound ways lagoons connect with humanity, as bountiful sources of food. Their shallow, sun-warmed waters, often enriched by nutrients flowing in from rivers and sheltered from the harsh ocean currents, create exceptionally productive ecosystems. This unique environment acts as a colossal nursery, a sheltered haven where countless species of fish, shellfish, and crustaceans can thrive. Young fish find sanctuary here, protected from larger predators of the open ocean, growing strong before venturing out. Delicate shrimp and crabs scuttle across the sandy or muddy bottoms, while oysters and mussels filter feed, cleaning the waters as they grow plump and succulent. For generations, coastal communities have relied on this natural abundance. The rhythmic casting of nets, the patient gathering of shellfish at low tide, the intricate knowledge passed down through families about the best fishing grounds and the subtle signs of the changing seasons. These are all testaments to the lagoon's role as a primary food source. This isn't just sustenance, it's an economic backbone. Artisanal fisheries, often small-scale and family-run, provide livelihoods for millions, ensuring food security and generating income through local markets and trade. Beyond traditional fishing, lagoons are also ideal environments for aquaculture. The calm, protected waters and steady nutrient supply make them perfect for farming oysters, mussels, and certain fish species in a more controlled setting, further boosting local economies and providing sustainable protein. But the economic pulse of lagoons extends far beyond the harvest of the sea. Throughout history, their sheltered nature has made them natural harbors, safe havens for ships seeking refuge from storms or places to offload their cargo. Many of the world's great port cities, from the ancient wonders to modern metropolises, owe their very existence to the calm embrace of a lagoon. Think of Venice, a city famously built on a lagoon, its intricate network of canals and islands, a testament to human ingenuity, adapting to and thriving within this unique environment. For centuries, its lagoon was its highway, its defense, and its doorway to vast trading empires, a vibrant hub where goods, ideas, and cultures converged. Even today, lagoons continue to facilitate trade and transportation. They serve as essential waterways for local communities, connecting villages and providing easier access to markets than often difficult overland routes. This sheltered movement of goods and people underscores their enduring value as arteries of commerce and communication. Then there is the sheer undeniable beauty of lagoons, which has given rise to another vital economic sector: tourism. Their placid, often turquoise waters, fringed by mangroves, palm trees, or white sands, are magnets for visitors seeking tranquility and natural splendor. Ecotourism flourishes in many lagoon environments, offering opportunities for birdwatching, kayaking through serene channels, or exploring vibrant coral reefs that might shelter within an atoll lagoon. Resorts and small guest houses often cluster along their shores, providing jobs and injecting revenue into local economies, all drawn by the lagoon's gentle allure and the unique experiences it offers. Beyond sustenance, trade, and tourism, some lagoons yield another precious resource: salt. In arid regions, where the sun beats down relentlessly, the shallow waters of lagoons evaporate, leaving behind sparkling crystals of pure salt. This ancient practice, dating back thousands of years, continues to be an important industry in many parts of the world, transforming the lagoon's water into a valuable commodity essential for cooking, preservation, and industrial uses. As the economic tendrils of lagoons stretch wide, so too do their cultural roots delve deep. For countless indigenous and coastal peoples, lagoons are not merely resources. They are fundamental to their identity, their oral histories, their spiritual beliefs, and their way of life. The intimate knowledge of tides, currents, migratory patterns of fish, and the seasonal blooming of lagoon plants is not just practical wisdom. It is a living library, passed down through generations, embodying a profound connection to the natural world. Traditional ceremonies, festivals, and storytelling often revolve around the lagoon, celebrating its bounty and honoring its spirit. The rhythmic movements of traditional fishing boats, the unique designs of tools and traps crafted from lagoon-sourced materials, the distinct culinary traditions built upon its specific produce. These are all manifestations of a culture shaped by these waters. For example, some communities have developed intricate, sustainable fishing techniques that have allowed them to harvest from lagoons for centuries without depleting their resources, a testament to their deep ecological understanding and respect. Lagoons also inspire artists, poets, and musicians, their changing light, their mirrored surfaces reflecting the sky's moods, and the whisper of their waters sparking creativity. They become the settings for myths and legends, places where spirits dwell or heroes embark on journeys. They are sacred spaces, sites of reflection and communion, tying communities not just to the present landscape, but to a vast continuum of their ancestors' experiences. Indeed, the economic and cultural significance of lagoons are rarely separate. They are two sides of the same shimmering coin. The ability to fish sustainably supports cultural practices. The beauty that attracts tourists also inspires local art. The wisdom of ancient navigation allows for modern trade. Lagoons, in their quiet magnificence, are living archives of human adaptation, innovation, and reverence for the natural world. They remind us that our connection to the environment is not just transactional, but deeply relational, woven into the very fabric of who we are and how we thrive. Yet even these resilient and invaluable waters, these cradles of life and culture, face their own set of challenges in our rapidly changing world, a story we'll gently unfold in our next quiet reflection. Even the most serene and vital places face whispers of change, sometimes growing into louder concerns. These aren't always dramatic events, but often slow, persistent pressures that test the resilience of these precious aquatic cradles. Imagine our lagoon, a patient, clear pool thriving with life. But sometimes, unseen forces begin to stir its waters. One of the most significant challenges comes from what we call pollution. Not always the obvious kind you can see, but often a silent, insidious influx. Think of it as a river carrying not just water, but also an excess of rich, unwanted nutrients, primarily nitrogen and phosphorus, from nearby farms, urban runoff, or wastewater treatment plants. Scientists refer to this process as nutrient loading. It's like giving a plant too much fertilizer. Initially, it might seem beneficial, but soon it creates an imbalance. This overabundance of nutrients fuels an explosion of tiny green plants we call algae, leading to what is known as an algal bloom. Picture a thick green blanket spreading across the water's surface. This dense mat, while seeming harmless, becomes a veil, blocking the life-giving sunlight from reaching the delicate seagrass beds and coral polyps that reside beneath. These seagrasses, often described as the lungs of the lagoon, need that light to perform photosynthesis, just like plants on land, producing the oxygen that so many creatures depend on. When the sunlight is cut off, they begin to wither. Eventually, these massive algal blooms die, sinking to the lagoon floor. Their decomposition consumes vast amounts of the dissolved oxygen in the water, a process known as hypoxia, or, in severe cases, anoxia. These areas tragically become dead zones, places where most fish, crabs, and other marine life simply cannot survive because they are starved of oxygen. This complex chain reaction, called eutrophication, is a quiet thief of life, stealing the breath from the water itself, leaving behind an eerie stillness. Beyond nutrients, other forms of pollution cast long shadows. Tiny fragments of plastic, what we call microplastics, are like silent glittering confetti settling in the lagoon's soft sediments. These aren't just an aesthetic problem. Filter feeders like clams, oysters, and mussels, who gently sieve the water for their meals, can accidentally ingest these particles. This introduces plastics into the food web, creating a subtle disruption in the delicate balance, passing from creature to creature, a whispered worry carried on the currents. Industrial chemicals, heavy metals, and persistent organic pollutants can also accumulate in sediments and tissues, bio-magnifying up the food chain, impacting the health and reproductive success of the lagoon's inhabitants, often unseen until it's too late. Another profound threat arises from habitat destruction and alteration. Our desire to live near the coast, to build marinas, ports, and homes often encroaches upon the very edges of these lagoons. Coastal development can lead to the dredging of channels, the filling of wetlands, and the construction of seawalls. These activities rip apart the vital habitats that define a lagoon. Mangrove forests, for instance, are the sturdy guardians of many tropical and subtropical lagoons. Their intricate root systems act as natural filters, trapping sediments and pollutants, and providing critical nursery grounds for countless fish and invertebrates. They also serve as invaluable buffers against storm surges and erosion. When mangroves are cleared for development or aquaculture, the lagoon loses its natural protection, becoming more vulnerable to the whims of the ocean and the forces of degradation. Similarly, the loss of seagrass meadows, either from dredging or the shading caused by algal blooms, has cascading effects. These meadows are not just pretty underwater gardens. They are bustling nurseries for juvenile fish and shellfish, grazing grounds for manatees and turtles, and crucial stabilizers of the lagoon floor, preventing sediment from stirring up and clouding the water. When these habitats are lost, the entire ecosystem's productivity and biodiversity suffer. Then there is the overarching challenge of climate change, a slow, relentless tide that impacts lagoons in multiple ways. One of the most immediate concerns is sea level rise. As the global ocean slowly expands and glaciers melt, sea levels creep upward. For low-lying coastal lagoons, this means their delicate boundaries are constantly being redefined. Saltwater intrusion can alter the salinity of freshwater-influenced lagoons, stressing freshwater-adapted plants and animals and changing the very character of the ecosystem. Many coastal wetlands, including the fringes of lagoons, are being submerged at rates faster than they can naturally accrete sediment and migrate inland, threatening their very existence. Warmer ocean temperatures, another symptom of climate change, directly affect the creatures within. For tropical lagoons that host coral reefs, elevated temperatures can lead to coral bleaching, a devastating phenomenon where corals expel the symbiotic algae living in their tissues, turning ghostly white. Without these algae, corals starve, weakening the very foundation of the reef ecosystem. Moreover, the absorption of excess carbon dioxide by the oceans leads to ocean acidification, reducing the pH of seawater. This makes it harder for organisms like oysters, clams, and corals to build and maintain their calcium carbonate shells and skeletons, literally dissolving away their protective structures. Finally, the introduction of odd invasive species can upset the natural equilibrium of a lagoon. Species brought from other parts of the world, often accidentally via ship ballast water or intentional introductions, can outcompete native species for food and habitat, introduce diseases, or prey on vulnerable populations. And regrettably, overexploitation of resources, such as unsustainable fishing practices, can deplete fish stocks and alter the food web, further weakening the lagoon's ability to thrive. These threats, while individual in their origin, often combine and amplify each other, creating a complex web of vulnerability. A lagoon stressed by pollution becomes less resilient to rising sea levels, and a lagoon with degraded habitats is more susceptible to invasive species. It's a delicate tapestry, and when one thread frays, the whole fabric is at risk. Yet, understanding these challenges is not a cause for despair, but rather an invitation to wisdom and action. It reminds us of the profound interconnectedness of our world and the immense value these tranquil sanctuaries hold. And as we consider these challenges, we can also begin to imagine the ways we might help, a story that gently unfolds as we continue our journey of discovery. But just as the tides always return, so too does hope arrive in the form of dedicated guardians, scientists, communities, and conservationists who work tirelessly to understand, protect, and restore these aquatic cradles. Their efforts are woven into a tapestry of careful strategies, each thread essential to preserving the lagoon's enchanting allure. Imagine a lagoon as a precious living tapestry, intricately woven with the greens of seagrass, the shimmering blues of water, and the countless hues of its inhabitants. When this tapestry begins to fray, perhaps from pollution or habitat loss, the first and most direct act of care is often ecological restoration. This is like mending the torn threads, carefully repairing and replanting the very fabric of the lagoon. One of the most iconic examples involves the remarkable mangrove forests. These aren't just trees. They are the architects of the coastline, with their distinctive prop roots arching out of the water like stilts, creating a labyrinthine nursery. These roots are like the protective arms of a mother, sheltering the vulnerable young of fish, crabs, and shrimp from predators and strong currents. They also perform an incredible feat of natural engineering. Their dense root systems stabilize the shoreline, acting as a living barrier against erosion and softening the blow of storm surges, much like a natural seawall. When mangroves are lost, their restoration involves carefully planting young saplings, nurturing them until their roots can once again take hold, creating new havens and strengthening the lagoon's natural defenses. This process helps to restore the biodiversity that thrives within their shadowy embrace. Beneath the water's surface, another crucial restoration effort focuses on seagrass meadows. Picture vast underwater prairies, gently swaying with the currents, providing food for manatees and sea turtles, and critical hiding places for juvenile fish and seahorses. Seagrasses are also remarkable filters, trapping sediments and absorbing excess nutrients, thereby enhancing water clarity. Imagine them as the lagoon's own natural purification system, keeping the water sparkling clean. When these meadows are damaged, perhaps by boat propellers or poor water quality, efforts are made to replant them, often by hand, carefully embedding individual shoots into the seabed. This painstaking work helps to revive not only the grass itself, but also the myriad creatures that depend on it, reestablishing a vital cornerstone of the lagoon's food web and contributing significantly to the sequestration of carbon, helping to mitigate climate change. However, preventing harm is just as vital as repairing it. One of the most significant challenges lagoons face stems from what washes into their waters. Pollution control and water quality management are paramount. Think of the lagoon as a sensitive organism needing clean air and pure water to thrive. When nutrient-rich runoff from agricultural lands, things like fertilizers or inadequately treated wastewater, enters the lagoon, it can lead to a process called eutrophication. This isn't just a complicated word. It describes a very real threat. It's like over-fertilizing a garden until one type of plant, usually algae, grows so rampant it chokes out everything else. These algal blooms can block sunlight from reaching seagrasses, deplete the dissolved oxygen in the water when they decay, creating lush dead zones, and release toxins harmful to marine life and even humans. To combat this, strategies include advanced wastewater treatment plants that meticulously filter out pollutants before discharge, and promoting sustainable agricultural practices like precision farming and buffer zones that minimize nutrient runoff. It's about ensuring that the rivers and streams feeding the lagoon carry only clean, life-giving water, not harmful contaminants. For communities that rely on the bounty of the lagoon, sustainable fisheries management is a delicate dance between human needs and ecological health. Imagine the lagoon as a pantry that needs to be restocked regularly. If we take too much too quickly, the pantry will be empty for future generations. This management involves implementing catch limits to prevent overfishing, regulating the types of fishing gear allowed to minimize harm to habitats and non-target species, known as bycatch, and establishing seasonal closures to protect spawning fish. A powerful tool in this strategy is the creation of some marine protected areas, MPAs, within the lagoon. These are like nature's own sanctuaries, zones where fishing and other extractive activities are restricted or completely prohibited. Within these tranquil havens, fish populations can recover, grow larger, and reproduce more successfully, effectively spilling over into surrounding areas, benefiting local fishermen in the long run. These MPAs act as vital reserves, ensuring the resilience and replenishment of marine life, preserving the genetic diversity of species. To truly understand the health of a lagoon, one must listen to its whispers. This is where environmental monitoring comes into play. Scientists regularly conduct meticulous checkups, measuring the lagoon's vital signs. They monitor water parameters, such as temperature, salinity, how salty the water is, pH, its acidity or alkalinity, turbidity, how cloudy it is, and the levels of dissolved oxygen. They also track nutrient concentrations, pollutants, and the presence of various species. This ongoing surveillance is like a diligent doctor keeping a close eye on a patient, detecting subtle changes and diagnosing problems early, allowing for timely interventions. It provides the essential data needed to assess the effectiveness of conservation strategies and adapt them as conditions change, employing sophisticated tools to track the biogeochemical cycles within the ecosystem. The heart of successful conservation often beats loudest in the hands of said local communities. When people who live by the lagoon understand its intricate beauty and ecological importance, they become its most dedicated stewards. Community engagement involves educating residents about the lagoon's value, involving them in cleanup efforts, and incorporating their traditional ecological knowledge into management plans. Initiatives like citizen science programs, where volunteers help collect data on water quality or species sightings, empower individuals to become active participants in protecting their natural heritage. It fosters a sense of shared responsibility, transforming passive observers into active guardians of their local lagoon, creating a powerful collective force for stewardship. Finally, in an era of global change, lagoons also need strategies to adapt to broader environmental shifts. Climate change adaptation is becoming increasingly critical. Rising sea levels, for instance, threaten to inundate vital coastal habitats. Solutions here involve promoting living shorelines, which use natural elements like oyster reefs, salt marshes, or carefully planted vegetation instead of rigid concrete seawalls. These natural buffers can grow and adapt with rising waters, absorbing wave energy, preventing erosion, and providing habitat, offering a much more resilient and ecologically friendly form of coastal protection. These strategies are about building resilience into the lagoon ecosystem itself, helping it weather the storms of change. And all these strategies, from the careful planting of a single mangrove sapling to the sophisticated monitoring of water chemistry, are interwoven threads in a grand design of care. They represent a collective commitment to protecting these exquisite natural treasures, ensuring that the tranquil beauty and vital ecological functions of lagoons endure. Each effort, however small, contributes to the overall health and vibrancy of these watery worlds, reminding us of our profound connection to the natural world. And as we drift deeper into the quietude of the night, knowing that dedicated hands are at work, ensuring the continued magic of these lagoons, we can rest assured. Our journey continues, next turning our attention to the incredible diversity of life that finds sanctuary in these carefully managed havens, exploring the very creatures whose existence these strategies seek to protect. Yet, even in these serene, sheltered waters, the world outside is shifting, bringing with it a future that requires our thoughtful attention and care. The story of lagoons, like all the Earth's delicate ecosystems, is now intertwined with the grand narrative of our changing climate. Imagine, if you will, the very edges of our lagoon, where the land meets the water in a graceful, sometimes muddy, embrace. Here, life thrives in the intertidal zone, a realm dictated by the rhythmic ebb and flow. But what happens when that rhythm itself begins to change, subtly, profoundly? One of the most significant challenges lagoons face is the slow, relentless ascent of sea level rise. It's like a vast, invisible hand gently pushing the ocean upwards, centimeter by centimeter, year after year. Scientific projections suggest that by the turn of the next century, global average sea levels could rise by over half a meter, and potentially much more under higher emissions scenarios. For low-lying coastal areas, this means a gradual inundation, a blurring of the lines that define where the land ends and the water begins. The salt marshes, those emerald carpets that filter our waters and cradle countless creatures, may find themselves perpetually submerged, their delicate root systems unable to cope with the constant saltwater embrace. Similarly, the majestic mangroves, those incredible trees that stand on stilt-like roots, forming verdant guardians along tropical lagoon shores, face a precarious future. While they are master adapters, capable of migrating inland, they can only do so if there is suitable higher ground available, unhindered by human development. Without space to retreat, these vital ecosystems, which act as natural breakwaters, buffering our coasts from storms and absorbing vast amounts of carbon, could be diminished, leaving lagoons more exposed and less resilient. Beyond the rising waters, another quiet transformation is occurring within the very liquid essence of the lagoon itself. Our oceans, those vast blue heartbeats of the planet, are absorbing much of the excess heat trapped by greenhouse gases. This leads to warming waters, a subtle fever spreading through the marine world. For lagoons, which are often shallower and more enclosed, this warming can be particularly pronounced. Delicate coral species, which sometimes form the very barriers protecting lagoons from the open sea, are incredibly sensitive to temperature fluctuations. Sustained periods of warmth can lead to coral bleaching, where these vibrant living colonies expel the symbiotic algae that give them their color and much of their energy, leaving them vulnerable and often leading to their demise. This isn't just a loss of beauty, it's a profound structural weakening of the lagoon's natural defenses and a catastrophic loss of habitat for countless fish and invertebrates. Furthermore, warmer waters can encourage the proliferation of harmful algal blooms, turning clear, healthy waters into murky, oxygen-depleted zones that can be toxic to marine life and even humans. And there's another unseen change equally profound: ocean acidification. The oceans have been diligently absorbing roughly 30% of the carbon dioxide we've released into the atmosphere, acting as a massive carbon sink. But this absorption comes at a cost. When CO2 dissolves in seawater, it forms carbonic acid, making the water more acidic. This subtle but significant shift in the ocean's chemistry makes it harder for organisms that build shells or skeletons out of calcium carbonate, like oysters, clams, and many types of plankton, as well as corals, to form and maintain their structures. Imagine trying to build a house when your bricks are slowly dissolving. That's the silent struggle faced by these foundation species. Without healthy shellfish and plankton, the very food web of the lagoon begins to unravel, impacting everything from tiny filter feeders to the larger fish we marvel at. Then, there are the more dramatic, sudden shifts, the increasing intensity and frequency of extreme weather events. Our climate models predict that regions prone to tropical cyclones may experience fewer storms overall, but those that do form are likely to be more powerful, unleashing greater destructive force. A hurricane or a severe storm can, in a single day, reshape a lagoon. Its immense power can breach protective sandbars, leading to dramatic shifts in salinity and sediment distribution. Intense rainfall can deluge lagoons with a sudden influx of fresh water and nutrient-rich runoff from land, disrupting delicate balances. Conversely, prolonged droughts in some regions can lead to excessive evaporation, turning parts of lagoons into hypersaline basins where only the most tolerant species can survive. The gentle rhythm can be shattered by these restless giants, leaving behind a scarred landscape and a disrupted ecosystem. So, as we reflect on these profound challenges, what hope does the future hold for our cherished lagoons? The answer lies in adaptation, in learning to live with these changes and helping nature fortify itself. It's a powerful testament to human ingenuity and our growing understanding of ecological wisdom. We are beginning to realize that the most effective way to help lagoons adapt is often to work with nature, not against it. These are what we call nature-based solutions. Think of the mangroves and salt marshes we discussed. Instead of building concrete sea walls, which can often harm the very ecosystems they aim to protect, we can focus on restoring and expanding these natural coastal defenses. Mangrove forests, for instance, can reduce wave height by a remarkable 30 to 50% over just a few tens of meters, dissipating the destructive energy of storm surges long before they reach our shores. They also stabilize sediments, preventing erosion, and their complex root systems provide nurseries for fish and shellfish, acting as the very heartbeat of the lagoon's productivity. Similarly, restoring vast tracts of salt marshes not only creates vital habitat, but also improves water quality by filtering pollutants and acts as a natural sponge, absorbing excess water from storm surges and heavy rainfall. Beyond the shoreline, beneath the waves, efforts are underway to restore the intricate structures that underpin lagoon health. Coral reef restoration involves carefully growing new coral fragments and transplanting them to degraded areas, helping to rebuild those vibrant underwater cities that protect our lagoons from the ocean's fury. Imagine tiny coral nurseries, carefully tended by human hands, slowly growing the architects of the deep. Similarly, oyster reef restoration is gaining momentum. Oysters are incredible engineers and tiny water purifiers. A single adult oyster can filter up to 50 gallons of water a day. Restoring oyster reefs not only cleanses the water, but also stabilizes the seabed, reduces erosion, and creates complex habitats for other marine life, forming living filters and breakwaters. And let us not forget the silent heroes of the seabed, seagrass meadows. These underwater prairies are among the most productive ecosystems on Earth. They stabilize sediments with their extensive root systems, preventing turbidity and erosion. They act as critical nurseries for juvenile fish and shellfish, provide food for many species, and are powerful carbon sinks, sequestering carbon at rates comparable to terrestrial forests. Restoring these vital underwater gardens involves planting seagrass shoots and monitoring their growth, slowly mending the delicate tapestry of the lagoon floor. Ultimately, the future outlook for lagoons, while shadowed by the magnitude of global climate change, is not without hope. It requires a holistic approach, one that not only focuses on these incredible nature-based solutions, but also tackles local stressors such as pollution, overfishing, and unsustainable development. By reducing these immediate pressures, we strengthen the inherent resilience of lagoons, allowing them a greater chance to adapt to the broader climatic shifts. It's about listening to nature's wisdom, understanding its intricate mechanisms, and offering a helping hand to these precious, sheltered cradles of life. As the last rays of twilight fade across the tranquil surface of the lagoon, let us carry this understanding with us. The challenges are vast, but so too is our capacity for care, for innovation, and for working in harmony with the natural world. In the next part of our journey, we will explore some of the fascinating human connections to lagoons, from ancient traditions to modern communities, and discover how our lives have long been shaped by these extraordinary coastal havens. Beneath this shimmering veil, far from the reach of the sun's direct embrace, lies a profound and complex world, a realm of hidden forces and slow, tireless processes that are the very bedrock of the lagoon's existence. Imagine, if you will, gently descending through the water, past the waving seagrass meadows, until your toes touch the soft, yielding floor. This isn't merely a static bottom, it is a living, breathing archive, meticulously recording the passage of time. Layer upon layer, like the ancient pages of a vast, submerged book, the sediments have accumulated over centuries, even millennia. Each grain tells a story. Fine, silty particles carried by a distant river whisper of inland journeys. Fragments of shells, brittle and delicate, speak of life cycles completed, of creatures that once thrived here. Tiny organic remnants, the detritus of countless organisms, are folded into the mix, composing the rich, dark canvas of the lagoon's past. These layers aren't just a historical record, they are a dynamic environment. The very weight of the water above and the ceaseless sifting and settling of new material create a subtle but immense pressure, slowly compacting the older layers below. This process, known as sedimentation, is a perpetual act of building, creating new foundations while preserving the old. Within these layers, tiny pockets of water, we call it pore water, are trapped, a miniature subterranean ocean in itself. This isn't just inert water, it's a bustling chemical soup, constantly reacting and exchanging. Its chemistry is dramatically different from the water just above. Deeper down, oxygen becomes scarce, creating a specialized world where life, resilient and resourceful, finds new ways to breathe and thrive. Here, in the dim depths of the sediment, a vast, unseen civilization of what microorganisms tirelessly works. Billions upon billions of bacteria and archaea, invisible to the naked eye, are the true engineers of the subsurface. Without sunlight to fuel photosynthesis, they've mastered other forms of energy. Some, the sulfate-reducing bacteria, delicately breathe sulfate instead of oxygen, transforming it into hydrogen sulfide, the characteristic scent of marshy areas, a subtle whisper of their presence. Others specialize in breaking down complex organic matter, liberating essential nutrients that are then slowly released back into the lagoon's water column, nourishing the life on the surface. Deeper still, where even sulfate runs out, some ancient archaea create methane, a powerful greenhouse gas as a byproduct of their unique metabolism. These tiny ancient forms of life are not just surviving, they are actively shaping the very chemistry and nutrient cycles of the entire lagoon, a hidden powerhouse driving its ecological engine. But the subsurface isn't solely defined by these unseen chemical factories. It is also a landscape constantly sculpted by living architects, the bioturbators. Imagine a garden where the soil is constantly tilled, aerated, and rearranged. That's the work of myriad creatures burrowing through the soft sediments. Long, slender, polycate worms tunnel intricate networks, creating pathways that allow oxygenated water to penetrate deeper than it otherwise would. Clams and other bivalves filter water and churn the surface sediments as they feed and move. Crabs scurry and dig, pushing aside sand and mud to create their temporary homes. This constant churning, known as bioturbation, is vital. It mixes the organic matter, redistributes nutrients, and helps release gases trapped in the deeper layers. It's a continuous, slow-motion earthquake orchestrated by creatures big and small, profoundly influencing the chemical and biological processes of the lagoon. Beyond the immediate layers of sediment, another powerful hidden force is at play: the exchange with groundwater. Lagoons, often nestled close to land, are intimately connected to the water flowing beneath the Earth's surface. Fresh water, seeping slowly from terrestrial aquifers, can find its way into the lagoon, subtly altering its salinity and delivering a unique blend of dissolved minerals and nutrients. Conversely, in some areas, the lagoon's salt water might seep into the land's groundwater. This constant, often imperceptible flow of water through the porous sands and muds beneath the lagoon is a vital conduit, connecting the terrestrial and aquatic worlds, profoundly influencing the lagoon's water quality and the types of life it can support. And at an even grander scale, beneath all these layers of sediment and circulating waters lie the ancient geological foundations themselves. The very shape and depth of the lagoon are dictated by the underlying bedrock, the slow, monumental forces of geology that have shaped the coastline over eons. Whether it's a slowly subsiding coastal plain or the remnant of an ancient river valley, these deep-seated geological processes create the basin within which the lagoon's dynamic life unfolds. They are the silent, steadfast guardians, dictating the ultimate boundaries and the deep-seated stability of this remarkable ecosystem. So, as you listen to the quiet lapping of water on the shore, remember the intricate, tireless world hidden beneath. The subsurface processes and hidden forces are not just theoretical concepts. They are the pulsing heart of the lagoon, silently sustaining its vibrant life, purifying its waters, and preserving its history. They are the unseen hands that weave the fabric of this special place, constantly shaping its character, even as the tides ebb and flow. And speaking of tides, they too are a powerful rhythmic force dictating much of the lagoon's life. And a story for another time. Rising from these hidden depths to view the Earth's illuminated sphere, tracing the delicate filigree of its coastlines, we begin to notice a recurring pattern. A ribbon of sheltered blue, often hugged by sandy arms or coral embrace. These quiet presences are far more widespread than one might initially imagine, found in almost every climatic zone, from the sun-drenched tropics to the chilly fringes of the Arctic. Imagine our planet's geology as a grand, slow-motion sculptor. Over millennia, the relentless dance of ocean currents, the steady march of tides, the rise and fall of sea levels, and the tireless delivery of sediment by rivers have worked together to craft these unique environments. Where coastlines are relatively flat and the sea is shallow, the conditions are perfect for the formation of barrier islands, spits, or sandbars, those long, narrow guardians that stand between the open ocean and the calmer waters landward. Sometimes these barriers are geological structures, remnants of ancient dunes or river deltas patiently sculpted by the sea. In other warmer realms, living architects, the corals, build intricate reefs that curve and enclose, forming the stunning lagoons of atolls and fringing reefs. This grand, global distribution means that while all lagoons share the fundamental characteristic of being a body of shallow, brackish water partially separated from the sea, their individual personalities are profoundly shaped by their local climate, geology, and the life they host. Each one is a unique, liquid jewel, reflecting the particular conditions of its home. Let's allow our thoughts to wander to some of these remarkable lagoon systems, each with its own story, its own pulse. Our first whisper takes us to the historic heart of Europe, the Venice Lagoon in Italy. This isn't just a lagoon. It's a masterpiece of human ingenuity intertwined with nature's rhythms. Spanning over 550 square kilometers, it's a vast, shallow basin separated from the Adriatic Sea by a series of narrow barrier islands and spits. What makes Venice so captivating is its complex morphology, an intricate mosaic of salt marshes, mudflats, and a labyrinthine network of natural and man-made canals, all cradling more than 100 islands where a magnificent city has blossomed. The salinity within the lagoon varies significantly, influenced by the tides that breathe life into its channels and the freshwater input from several rivers that flow into it. Historically, the Venetians developed sophisticated systems of canals and sluices to manage water flow and sediment, maintaining the delicate balance of their watery home. Yet it's a constant struggle. The famous acqua alta, or high water, events are a stark reminder of the lagoon's dynamic connection to the sea and the challenges of a changing climate. The very existence of Venice is a testament to the enduring relationship, sometimes harmonious, sometimes fraught, between humanity and a lagoon ecosystem. Now let's drift across the Atlantic to the eastern seaboard of North America, where we find the majestic Pamlico Sound. This isn't just a lagoon. It's an inland sea, so vast it seems to stretch to the horizon. As the largest lagoon on the east coast of the United States, and indeed one of the largest estuaries in the country, Pamlico Sound covers approximately 5,300 square kilometers, with an average depth of just 1.8 meters. It is gracefully shielded from the Atlantic Ocean by the iconic Outer Banks, a long, slender chain of barrier islands that act as sandy sentinels against the ocean's raw power. The Sound is a quintessential example of a barrier island lagoon, heavily influenced by substantial freshwater input from major rivers like the Pamlico and Nourish, which creates a significant salinity gradient. This means that while some areas near the inlets might be nearly as salty as the ocean, the inner reaches are much fresher, creating a rich tapestry of habitats. This variability supports an incredible diversity of life, from freshwater fish to estuarine crabs and ocean-going species that use the Sound as a vital nursery ground, making it an economic powerhouse for fisheries and a haven for migratory birds. From the temperate shores of North Carolina, our gentle journey now takes us to the vibrant, sun-drenched waters of the South Pacific, to New Caledonia Barrier Reef Lagoon. Here, the architects are not just geological forces, but living, breathing coral polyps. This immense lagoon system, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is one of the 3 largest reef systems in the world, encircling the main island of Grande Terre, with a double barrier reef that stretches for over 1,500 kilometers. It's a breathtaking example of a coral reef lagoon, where the lagoon itself is a vast, relatively shallow basin of sparkling turquoise waters, sheltered by the protective ring of the coral reef. This profound isolation from the open ocean creates conditions of exceptional clarity and stability, fostering an astonishing level of biodiversity, a true living jewel box. Imagine countless species of fish, intricate corals, dugongs, and sea turtles, all thriving in this pristine, interconnected world. The scientific importance of this lagoon lies not just in its immense size and beauty, but in its exceptional integrity and the ongoing ecological and evolutionary processes it represents, a window into the health of our planet's coral ecosystems. Finally, let's glide down to the southeast coast of Australia, to the Gippsland Lakes. This is a different kind of watery embrace, an intricate network of coastal lagoons and marshes that forms the largest inland waterway system in Victoria. Unlike some of the other examples, the Gippsland Lakes receive substantial freshwater inflow from 5 major rivers, making them predominantly brackish to fresh in their upper reaches. The system is connected to the Bass Strait by a man-made entrance, which allows a limited exchange of tidal waters. This complex hydrology, with significant freshwater dominance and restricted oceanic connection, has shaped a unique ecosystem that supports a rich array of waterfowl, fish, and other aquatic life. However, like many precious natural systems, the Gippsland Lakes face environmental pressures, particularly from nutrient runoff from surrounding agricultural lands, leading to occasional algal blooms that underscore the delicate balance required to maintain their health. They serve as a poignant reminder that even these seemingly robust systems are vulnerable to human activity and require careful stewardship. These examples, from the ancient urban embrace of Venice to the wild expanses of Pamlico, the coral-ringed wonder of New Caledonia, and the freshwater-fed richness of Gippsland, illustrate the extraordinary global distribution and the profound ecological and cultural significance of lagoons. Each one is a testament to the dynamic interplay of land, sea, and atmosphere, a unique expression of Earth's coastal artistry. They are all, in their own way, special nurseries, filtering systems, and vital havens. And so, our gentle journey through the wonders of the lagoon slowly, peacefully, comes to its soft close. Not an end, you see, but a pause, a moment for reflection as the day outside fades and the world begins its whispered lullaby. Remember how the lagoon itself felt? A sanctuary, isn't it? A place where the wild, open ocean gently exhales, allowing its waters to gather in a tranquil embrace. Not the roaring waves of the deep, but a serene, almost whispering pool, nestled and protected. Its very essence spoke of peace, a quiet cradling, a soft murmuring against the shore. We felt its stillness, a profound quietude that seemed to slow the hurried beat of the world, inviting us to simply be. We allowed our minds to drift across its surface, watching the sunlight play upon the water, painting shimmering patterns that shifted with every breath of the breeze. It wasn't a journey of grand expeditions, but of delicate observation, of noticing the subtle dance of light and shadow, the gentle undulation of the water that seemed to breathe with its own slow rhythm. Every ripple was a soft whisper, every glint a tiny secret shared. Within that sheltered world, we glimpsed life unfolding with a quiet grace. We didn't need to name every creature or understand every intricate process, did we? It was enough to simply know they were there, a silent ballet of fins and tentacles, roots and leaves, all interconnected, all playing their gentle part. Each living thing, from the smallest grain of sand kissed by the tide to the delicate fronds swaying beneath the surface, contributed to the lagoon's harmonious whisper. They lived in a delicate balance, an ecosystem humming with a soft, steady rhythm, teaching us that even in stillness, life is always busy, always connected, always unfolding. It was a lesson in patience, perhaps. The lagoon doesn't rush. It embraces the tides as they come and go, allowing time for growth, for shelter, for quiet transformation. It showed us the profound beauty of being cradled, of finding strength in gentleness and richness in quiet observation. It reminded us that sometimes the most magnificent wonders are not the loudest or the largest, but those that exist in soft harmony just beneath the surface, waiting to be gently noticed. Now, as those mental images of dappled light and soft currents begin to recede, and the edges of your day blur into a restful evening, let that feeling of calm, that profound tranquility of the lagoon settle over you. Imagine its peaceful waters wrapping around you, a gentle, invisible blanket woven from starlight and quiet wisdom. Let the soft murmur of its tides be the gentle rhythm of your own breath, slowing and deepening, carrying you further into comfort. There's no need to hold on to every detail, every fact. Just allow the feeling of the lagoon to linger, its peace, its shelter, its quiet wonder. Let that sense of being cradled, safe and serene, be the last thought before your eyes softly close. For the journey you see truly never ends. The lagoon, with all its gentle beauty and peaceful wisdom, isn't left behind. It's a seed planted deep within your imagination, ready to bloom in the quiet garden of your dreams. Perhaps tonight, in the quiet canvas of your sleep, you'll drift effortlessly above its luminous depths once more, a silent observer in a world of soft blues and greens. Perhaps you'll feel the gentle, warm current against your dream self, or hear the soft, distant lullaby of its hidden life. The lagoon will be there, waiting, a tranquil space where your mind can continue to explore, to wonder, and to rest. So, breathe softly now. Let the last lingering whispers of the lagoon lull you into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. You are safe. You are calm. And the quiet magic of the world, just like the lagoon, will keep its gentle vigil until morning. Good night, my dear dreamer. Good night.